TheTraderGuy.com. This is Chris taking a look at the dollar against the Canadian dollar. Well, it's official. The United States is levying tariffs on Canada of 25% across the board starting Tuesday. This has been decided over the weekend, and although a lot of traders were prepared for this, we did see a lot of noise on Friday about when this was going to be put into effect. And in fact, at one point, the US dollar really slumped against the Canadian dollar as traders got wind of a false statement that it was going to be March 1st. There is an exception for energy of only 10%, but ultimately, this is a scenario where I do expect the US dollar to continue climbing. And if it does take off to the upside, watch the 1.46 level. That's an area that had been resistance during that Friday frenzy. If we clear that, then 1.4750 is the next level I'm watching very closely due to the fact that if you look back far enough, you can see it was a major swing high in 2020. Anything above there, the Canadian dollar suddenly finds itself in serious trouble. This is a tariff war just waiting to happen, and although there are some discussions of the Canadians retaliating, quite frankly, I don't know that they are in the position to do so. For that matter, Parliament really isn't even functioning at this point, so this is a one-way negotiation. Ultimately, I do think that one thing you might want to watch out for is what happens if the market doesn't react. If the market doesn't react, then all of a sudden I'd be thinking that maybe we have gotten pretty close to topping out. That's not what I'm expecting. And in fact, I'd be shocked to see that happen, which is exactly why it would capture my attention. Maybe the open on Monday morning in Asia won't be as brutal as I think it will be, but this is a long running uptrend, which quite frankly continues to find reasons to go higher. In fact, with the Federal Reserve sitting still and the Bank of Canada cutting rates this past week, in and of itself driving this pair higher, the interest rate differential being as wide as it's been in years, and the tariff war that unfortunately my Canadian friends up north won't win, we've got a situation where the Canadian dollar could be under a lot of pressure, not only against the US dollar, which would be the main pressure point, but against some other currencies as well. To let you know how serious Trump is about the tariffs in Canada, U.S. Officials went down to Venezuela, secured the release of 6 detainees by the Maduro government, has gotten the Venezuelans to accept the idea of taking some of their migrants back, and now we're starting to talk about Venezuelan oil heading to the United States. This is a very serious thing, and it's much more serious than I think a lot of people have suggested, at least those outside of the financial community. So expect to see a lot of headlines.